time for a new song. So, we're going to jump into Stay High by Brittany Howard. I've included a link to that below, so make sure you've listened to that. And now that you have, let's jump into the chords for the verse. We've got two chords, A major and D major. Our A major, we're going to play like this. We're going to play open A, 2nd fret with the 2nd finger on D, 1st finger, 2nd fret on G, 3rd finger, 2nd fret on B, and open E. And then we're jumping to our D major chord. Open D, 2nd fret, 1st finger on G, 3rd finger, 2nd fret on B, middle finger, 2nd fret on the high E. Those are our two chords. We're also in 12/8. That's our meter, which is a compound meter. I'm not sure if you've heard of those quite yet, but what that means is we can think of it in a bigger way, or a smaller way technically, I guess, by 12 individual beats like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Or we can think of it as if it's in 4, but we're thinking of groupings of 3. So we can think of it like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and still 12 beats per measure, but I think it's a little bit easier to conceptualize rather than thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's kind of hard to say out loud. So we're going to be doing all downstrokes, and I also am not using a pick right now. I'm using my thumb because in the recording you'll notice that the sound of the acoustic guitar is pretty soft and it's not as bright as when we use a pick. So if I was using a pick, it would sound like, which sounds cool, but not exactly what's happening in this song. So we're going to try just using our thumb, doing all downstrokes. So let's do that rhythm together. A major for one measure of 12 to D major for one measure of 12, back and forth, okay? 1, 2, and ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, back to A. Very good, okay. So that is the majority of the song. That's the verse. It's also the intro. And that's going to be happening, like I said, for the majority of the song. But there's one slight variation that Brittany plays on these sections where instead of playing this normal A major chord, we're actually going to lift up our 3rd finger on the B string and play that open B, and then bring our 3rd finger back down to the C sharp on the 2nd fret. And rhythmically, that's going to be happening on the 2nd eighth note of the 1st measure. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and like that, okay? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So it happens really quick. It's a very, very, very slight variation, but I think it sounds really cool. So I'd recommend trying to play along with that variation. 1 and 2. Okay, let's try, with that variation, A major to D major back and forth a few times, okay? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Going? Time. Very good. Also, I'm not really aiming for my lower strings. I'm keeping them ready to play just in case I hit them, but I'm mostly just kind of aiming for the top 3 strings the whole time. So every once in a while I'll play this open D in the D D chord, or I'll play this low open A sometimes. But for the most part, I'm really just trying to aim for the top 3 strings. Every once in a while I'll throw that to provide some lower notes to it, but you can really just stick with the top 3 for the majority of it. Now, on to the chorus. So, we have a few more chords, a few new ones in this one, starting with a D major. Then we jump to this. We're going to call this D major 7 over C sharp, and the way we're going to play this version is we're going to go 3rd finger or 4th finger, whatever's more comfortable, on the 4th fret of the A string. That's our C sharp. Then we're going to play an E on the 2nd fret. So now we're barring actually the top 4 strings. E with our 1st finger, 2nd fret of the D string. A, 2nd fret of the G string. C sharp, 2nd fret of the B string. And F sharp, 2nd fret of the E string. So D major 7, D major 9 over C sharp. It's just a passing chord. We're going D major to that chord. And then we go to B minor 7, which is a bar chord. So we're going to be playing B, 2nd fret of the A string with our 1st finger. F sharp, 4th fret of the D string with our 3rd finger. Barring, so playing the 2nd fret of the G string with our barred 1st finger. And then middle finger is going to be on the 3rd fret of the B string, that's a D. You can also play the high E with your 1st finger as well, if you want. And then we're going to land on this E sus chord, which, if you think about it this way, our normal E major, looks like that. Open, 2, 2, 1, open, open. Almost the same thing, but now instead of 1st fret on the G string, we're going to use our pinky to play 2nd fret on that string. So that's an E suspended 4th chord. So what that is instead of that 3rd, that G sharp, we're going to play up to the 4th. Now it's an A. Kind of has this open sound, like not totally resolved. Feels like it's kind of in between things. But that whole progression goes like this. And then we're back to the A. So one more time. 1 and 2 and 3 and chorus. 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Very good. And now for the bass part. So, starting with the intro, we've got a unique figure that only happens in the beginning of the song. And then the rest of the song is pretty simplistic, just sticking on one note for the verses and following the root movement of the chords in the choruses, just like the guitar does. So the intro, though, is pretty fun. We've got this melodic figure that goes A, B, C sharp. We're just walking up the scale. We're doing 7th fret on the D string, then 9th fret on the D string, then 6th fret on the G string, so like this. Then back to A. Then we go down to E, which is the 7th fret on the A string. Then 5th fret on the A string, that's a D. Up to E again. Then up 2 more frets, 9th fret to the F sharp. Then we're going to hammer on 7 to 9, that's A up to B on the D string. So that's going to sound like this. And then we'll repeat that. So let's play that kind of slowly. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 Then we're into the verse progression. So all we're doing for this is we're riding on this A, 5th fret on the E string, and our rhythm is going to be just that over and over and over again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Sorry, that's really hard to count and play at the same time for some reason. So we're just playing that. We're just sticking on the A. Even though the guitar chords are moving between A and D, we're sticking on this A this whole time through the verse. 1. Whole time. So that's going to be our verse part. Then let's jump to the chorus, where we're following the root movement of the chords. So if you remember from earlier, we'd go D major 7 or D major 9 over C sharp, then B minor 7, E sus. We're going to do the same thing. So that's going to be D, C sharp, B, E. That's it. So whenever the chorus happens once, like that chord progression happens only one time in the song, we're just going to play it like that. D, C sharp, B, E, back to A. But sometimes the chorus happens multiple times, and there we can add a couple of variations, or really just one variation. Instead of doing just these roots, we can also add in some octaves. So the way to do that is to play 2 frets, 2 strings above the original note. So if this is our D here, our octave above D is going to be here. So if we're starting 5th fret on the A string, we're going to be jumping up to 7th fret on the G string. That's D, then down to C sharp, 1 fret each, and then back to our normal B, E. So that'll sound like this: 3 and 4 and back to A. That's it. Enjoy.